Guys, it's here. I'm finally making it. In my video where I film my week from a 3DS, I gave you guys a tour of this room and you got a brief glimpse of this box here, my comic book collection.
This is my comic collection. Might go through that in a future episode.
And I thought this video is long overdue, and this is me making up to that due date, so I hope this passes for you. So over to my left here, this is my box of single issue comics. These are, for those of you who don't understand, these are like the definitive example of a comic book. Let's take a look at this issue here. This is Fantastic Four, the Fantastic Four, and it appears to be issue number 3, or according to that, according to here. So that shows the issue number. That's like what chapter we're on with the series, and yeah, they're like usually 20 to 30 pages long. This pile is the pile that anyone who gets into collecting comics usually starts from, as well. I guess this is from my experience because this is where I started from. So I started collecting comics. Well, I collected my first comic. I bought my first comic book when I was in high school. I was about 13 or 14, and it was Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse issue 1, and I thought, you know, it was good. It was a good entry into the world of the comic book industry, and I did inspire me to collect some more. And my earliest collection was mainly Spider-Man because he's my favourite, and that's kind of most of the theme in this box here. So we've come to my box of comics, and yeah, this is how I've like arranged it all. I've like set it up. So sometimes when you buy a comic, they'll come in a plastic bag, and in that plastic bag they'll also have this piece of card, and I kind of took advantage of that, and I thought I can use it as like a divider for my collection. So yeah, and yeah, so I've got like X-Men, Spider-Man, Captain America, Ghost Rider, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and yeah, some. Of course, Image Comics gets its own section, as well as some of the series I've collected from Image, and I've got a section for just like Miss Comics that I just have one issue for and don't really go anywhere. So let's start off with Spider-Man because that's who I started collecting first. So the earliest issue I have in this collection, the earliest 2 issues I have are that I can remember getting are the Spider-Geddon and this Spider-Man Miles Morales run, and these were an improvement on the first issue and on Enter the Spider-Verse. And you know, it was entertaining for me at my age, and yeah, it was kind of enough to keep me entertained. I mean, there's like there's Insomniac Spider-Man, and there's Miles, there's Otto, there's Superior Spider-Man, and yeah, I also this is actually quite a cool page to open on, and you know, I really liked the cover as well with Superior Spider-Man holding what appears to be an unconscious Ben Reilly. And I thought, ooh, that looks interesting. And this is, I guess, this is the same Miles Morales that's in this series, according to one of the pages in here. So that's kind of technically in the same timeline, I guess. A common pattern I have with a lot of these earlier Spider-Man issues, I'll collect one issue. I'll collect the first issue of a series, and I'll rarely buy more issues into the series. There are a few exceptions. Of course, I've have two issues of the City at War comic series. This is the comics adaptation of the Insomniac universe, which is, yeah, these two issues are pretty good. I quite like the second issue because I quite like I quite like the design for what's his face, for Swarm in this book. I think we see him at the start. Well, this is probably the oldest issue I've collected. This is Amazing Spider-Man 260. This is I'd say this is a pretty decent issue to get into, like, the earlier issues. Of course, I have read some of the earlier Spider-Man issues before because of some of the omnibuses in the blue box to the left of me, which you can't see, or some significant collections I've got here. I've got the Hickman and I've got the Richard Hickman Ultimate Spider-Man run from 2024, and a recent addition to the collection is the original Ultimate Spider-Man collection, which I started at 28. But I'm already familiar with. I've already read some of the earlier issues online, and then the next main comic characters I collected were X-Men, because I was having an X-Men phase. I really like the X-Men because they kind of the fact that they're an analogy for bigotry towards minority groups. I kind of resonate with that, especially like through the films as well. I feel like the films as well kind of captured that very well, as well as the comics and any other X-Men adaptation there is out there. This is my most prized possession in the X-Men series. This is the first appearance. Of course, it is a reprint. I got this at my second Comic-Con that I went to, and then I collected some of the Uncanny issues. These ones here, these are the full introduction to Dazzler and Kitty Pryde, because she first appears in this one, and then this is kind of her entire origin story arc. And yeah, what's some other X-Men issues? Just like random one-offs, it would appear so. And yeah, a recent one I've started collecting is Daredevil. I'd say, yeah, this was my first Daredevil issue. This was part of the Venom Wars saga. This is issue 1, but yeah, I don't think this is a main series. I don't know anything that happened before the events of this. But you know, I enjoyed it. It had some good sequences, but then there was this. Then there was this run I collected 2 issues of in classic Me tradition. And yeah, you know, I enjoyed both of these issues, and then I've got Daredevil Man Without Fear against the Punisher, which I don't remember if I finished this one or not. I remember opening it and reading it. I don't know if I finished it. Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is when I was kind of going into more indie territory, especially with Image. These are some obscure ones I've collected. Of course, this is technically what's his face, Swarm. This is my first. This is the only work I have of Mark Millar, which I think I respect after this one, and actually that's not the only work. I do have a Kick-Ass issue, and well, this is my first time. This was kind of my introduction to Mark Millar. This is Nightclub. It's about like teenagers who become vampire influencers, and I thought it's a cool concept, and I've collected the entire first issue, first volume, and I loved it. I thought it's like amazing. And then Nightclub 2, it's Nightclub 2. I've got the first 3 issues. I didn't bother reading into the others, and this is a more mature series. Geiger. This is some post-apocalyptic kind of stuff, and I'm kind of a sucker for post-apocalyptic movies, and this is also when I was trying to get into some more horror-esque stuff after the Nightclub. This is just a compilation of vampire stories, which were pretty interesting. Yeah, there's Kick-Ass, and Fantastic Four, which I showed you, Absolute Batman, Deadpool, and some obscure vintage ones I haven't read yet. So this is my other box. This is for like non-single issue comic formats, like graphic novels, and yeah. The first 2 I remember reading from this pile were Venomverse, which I thought which I loved. Of course, it doesn't seem to be very well received, so I guess I'd say it's very underrated. Like, I like the cover, I like the story as well. I quite like the designs of some of the Venomized characters. Like this page here is like the best showcase for that. Like, you've got Cap, Black Panther, like all of them, everybody looks amazing, and I've also got who is Miles Morales. This is I guess this is like the perfect place for people to introduce themselves to Miles, as this is his entire origin story. Yeah, then there's these 2. This is a complete omnibus of. This is Marvel Platinum omnibus of Venom, so it goes over like the entire Venom origin story, and some highlights of Venom stories. through the Spider-Man history and the Venom history. And this is Redux Omnibus of Spider-Man, and this was very false advertised to me. This is another Marvel Platinum thing. On the cover it advertises itself as a compilation of the best Spider-Man stories, but actually it's all just Mysterio stories. Of course, I've got nothing wrong with that. I do like Mysterio. This one I got from a bookshop in Hague, in Holland, and this is probably my second prized possession. This is probably the best comic book I've ever read. This is Spider-Man Life Story, and it kind of recaps Spider-Man's entire life from his college days, like from the 60s to the 2010s, because this came out in 2019. But it retells of his key events as if they were happening in real time. So we actually like see him age and interact with like real world problems, which it kind of opens up to a lot of like interesting philosophical debates as well. I highly recommend this one, and there's a few others I've started reading, haven't finished, like this one for example, Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood. So it's just like a compilation of Black Suit Spider-Man stories, whether it's the cloth black suit or the symbiote black suit. It's all in monotone with the exception of red for blood, and it's kind of the same concept as the two Ninja Turtle comics I've got, the black, white and green, where it's like monotone except for there's only one color present. And I thought it's like interesting because it kind of it's very interesting to look at visually. And of course I've got Detective Comics, which I'm yet to read, for just getting into Batman. So this is my entire comic collection shown and reviewed to you, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will continue to collect comics as my life continues. If I've read something that I'd like to talk about, I might mention it in a video or in a community post or something. Just like stick around on my on some other socials, like I've got a Goodreads account as well. You can follow me on there, and that's my collection. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye.